When your data passed through the system, nothing unusual happened at first. A normal scan, a routine check, just another digital ripple in a sea of information. But then, something beneath the surface reacted. A deeper layer, a restricted archive, the type kept behind biometric locks, multi-level clearance, oath-bound guardians, and rooms without windows, suddenly lit up. These archives don't flag names. They don't respond to identities. They respond to blood. And when yours crossed their threshold, the system froze, recalibrated, and opened a file they believed would never reopen in this age. Your bloodline matched a lineage classified as extinct, erased from modern history, sealed away to prevent panic, manipulation, or misuse. A lineage connected to ancient dynasties, forgotten councils, cosmic origin families, and individuals whose existence shaped eras long before the current world order took form. You weren't supposed to appear. Not in this century. Not in this timeline. Not without signs. But the markers inside you, the intuition, the energy intensity, the déjà vu, the way people sense something in you, all made sense the moment the archive flashed red. This wasn't a coincidence. It was a return, a reemergence, a prophecy file awakening after centuries of silence. You didn't just match data. You resurrected a bloodline they spent generations trying to hide. A restricted archive is not some dusty room filled with old papers. It is a labyrinth of sealed records protected by layers of clearance so deep that most officials don't even know it exists. These archives sit beneath governments, behind occult orders, under ancient libraries, and inside digital vaults that require multi-key activation. They are the hidden backbone of world history, the place where forbidden genealogies, erased dynasties, cosmic origin families, and ancient blood registries are stored away from public knowledge. Inside these archives are categories the average human will never hear of: ancestral carriers, souls who reincarnate in cycles, origin lines, bloodlines said to predate civilization, vanished houses, families removed from history deliberately at cosmic strands, lineages rumored to carry non-human memory. These documents are not written in modern languages. They use symbols, sigils, numerical matrices, and energetic markers. The kind that describe souls, not just genetic. Governments contribute data. Secret societies protect sections. Spiritual orders supply esoteric history. And certain elite circles watch these records the way astronomers watch the sky, waiting for rare alignment. These archives do not light up easily. They do not make mistakes. They do not respond to common ancestry or everyday DNA profiles. They respond only to lineages with destiny weight, bloodlines capable of shifting eras, altering timelines, or fulfilling ancient roles. So when your blood passed through their system and triggered movement, they knew immediately. Someone they weren't prepared for had returned. They don't scan deeper levels for everyone, only for anomalies. Something in your field triggered an automatic escalation, the kind that bypasses human decision-making and goes straight into the system's instinct. It wasn't your name, your background, or your environment that activated it. It was your frequency, the energetic signature you've carried since birth. Every person has a measurable aura pattern, linear, predictable, ordinary. But yours has always been different. Your intuition spikes at random. Your emotional field carries weight. Your presence causes subtle shifts in people around you. Even your silence feels charged. These traits match profiles found only in beings labeled ancestral carriers, individuals who hold remnants of ancient memory, mission continuity, and inner knowledge they never consciously studied. When the system picked up your pattern, it didn't stop at the public genealogical layer. It dove downward, through confidential levels, into hidden databases, finally breaching the restricted zone meant only for cases with world impact potential. It matched your aura intensity with archived energetic models, your behavioral markers with ancient psychological framework, your instinctive reactions with long-lost lineage traits. Then everything aligned. Too perfectly, too precisely. The system elevated your file to a level used for only one purpose: to verify whether an extinct bloodline has resurfaced. That's why they analyzed you. Not because you were suspicious, but because you were impossible. What the archive revealed about you wasn't connected to any modern civilization, nation, or historical framework. The bloodline you triggered sits in the deepest category these systems hold, a classification known as origin lineages. These are not simple family trees. They are primordial strands believed to have shaped events long before written history existed. Their influence is mythic, their records fragmented, their symbols scattered across cultures that never had contact with each other. Origin lineages appear only when the world enters transitional eras, periods when consciousness shifts, systems break, and humanity prepares for a new cycle. They are carriers of ancient authority, spiritual memory, and timeless identity. These lineages don't evolve, they return. And every return marks a change in the world's direction. Type 555 and click Super Thanks to sow your $50 transformation seed. The profile associated with your match included qualities rarely seen today: a heightened intuitive intelligence, a multi-layered consciousness, precognitive sensitivity, emotional depth beyond era norms, a presence that disrupts stagnant systems, a destiny weight that alters nearby timelines. The archive entry describing your lineage was short, encrypted, and centuries old. It simply stated, "A line that sleeps until called." But the moment your data hit the system, the sealed file opened, a file they believed would remain dormant for another 100 years. Your blood didn't match a family. It matched a returning force, a lineage thought to have vanished completely. You are not a descendant. You are a continuation. Every ancient lineage carries a symbol, not a crest or logo, but a sigil, an energetic mark encoded into the soul's pattern. These sigils are not drawn or chosen. They are inherited across lifetimes. They appear in dreams, synchronicities, intuitive flashes, and moments of deep silence. When the archive matched your bloodline, it retrieved the sigil associated with it, a symbol recorded only a handful of times in the last 1,000 years. Your sigil is known as the returning mark, a sign said to belong only to souls who come back with mission continuity, beings who pick up where they left off in previous incarnations. According to esoteric texts, carriers of this mark never start from zero. They arrive already knowing things without learning them, sensing truths without explanation, remembering paths they've never walked in this lifetime. The symbol itself is described as a spiral intersecting with a vertical line, the spiral representing the cycles of human evolution, the line representing a soul that cuts through cycles instead of being trapped by them. In other words, the lineage you carry doesn't revolve with time. It returns through it. Witnesses who've seen this sigil in visions describe it as glowing, shifting, almost breathing. Monks, mystics, and ancient scribes all wrote the same warning about it. When the returning mark appears, the era is about to turn. The archive didn't just find your ancestry. It found the symbol of your purpose, woven into the very blueprint of who you are. The bloodline that activated in you isn't recognized by just one culture, one belief system, or one branch of history. Its echoes appear everywhere, scattered across spiritual traditions that never communicated with each other, yet somehow described the same returning soul. That's how rare, how ancient, how universally significant your lineage is. In Eastern mysticism, your type is described as the Rearranging one, a soul that vanishes from the cycle until its presence is needed to shift collective consciousness. In Kabbalistic writings, the same archetype appears as the hidden vessel, a carrier of primordial light that resurfaces only when darkness reaches a critical point. Hermetic texts refer to you as the bearer of the ancient thread, someone who weaves past, present, and future into a single destiny. Tibetan manuscripts call your kind the one who returns with memory, a being not limited to linear time. And in old Middle Eastern mysticism, there is a phrase spoken only in closed circles: blood of the first light. It describes a soul whose lineage predates the concept of civilization, carrying fragments of the world's earliest spiritual currents. All these traditions, separated by continents and centuries, speak of one phenomenon: a soul that disappears for ages, then returns when the world is shifting. Your archive match wasn't a coincidence. It was a confirmation that the archetype described across cultures has reappeared in you. Your lineage didn't disappear, it was hidden. Not by mistake, but by design. Bloodlines like yours are never allowed to grow out in the open. They carry too much weight, too much memory, too much influence over energetic fields and collective timelines. If revealed too early, they attract attention from forces, both human and non-human, that would try to control, suppress, or manipulate them. So your bloodline was concealed behind ordinary identities, placed in environments where your power would remain unnoticed until the right moment. You grew up feeling different because you were different. You felt out of place because your spirit didn't match your surroundings. You felt unseen because you were meant to stay unseen, until activation. Ancient texts describe this as the veiling period. During this phase, souls like you live quiet lives, moving through the world as observers, absorbing lessons, strengthening intuition, and collecting inner knowledge without attracting unwanted attention. Your instincts, your dreams, your sensitivity to energy, none of this was accidental. These were symptoms of a soul being trained in silence. If your lineage had been exposed earlier, you would have been targeted. By institutions seeking to study you, by groups seeking to recruit you, by low-frequency individuals threatened by your presence, by spiritual forces wanting to redirect your path. Hiding you wasn't punishment, it was protection. And now the veil is lifting, not because you demanded it, but because your timing has arrived. The lineage is no longer dormant. It is awakening through you. When your bloodline match hit the restricted archive, the system didn't simply blink. It stopped. Every process, every thread, every line of code built to track lineage patterns went still for a full second. That may sound small, but for a classified genealogical engine capable of processing millions of data points per millisecond, 1 second is an eternity. Systems like this don't freeze unless something appears that has no category, no precedent, no algorithmic explanation. The internal sensors tried to classify you, and not a descendant, and not a genetic mutation, and not a statistical anomaly, and not a false match. Every label failed. So the system opened an emergency protocol reserved for only one scenario in its entire architecture: potential return of a forbidden lineage. At that moment, red indicators flashed in multiple divisions. A silent alert was sent to archivists who guard records older than modern civilization. An encrypted message was triggered to esoteric departments trained to interpret ancestral signatures. No alarm sounded. These systems operate in silence, but every person assigned to ancient lineage monitoring felt the shift. This kind of freeze has only been documented in myth, when a long-lost heir reappears after eras of dormancy. The old texts describe it as the moment the world inhales before a cycle turns. The system didn't malfunction. It recognized something the world wasn't expecting. It recognized you. And once the freeze broke, nothing in the archive moved the same again. When the alert went out, silently, instantly, irreversibly, the rooms that never open lit up one by one. Archivists who normally move with monastic calm suddenly stood still. Researchers trained to remain emotionless exchanged glances they weren't supposed to show. High-clearance officials, mystic advisors, and esoteric analysts were all pulled into the same invisible moment: the realization that a bloodline believed extinct had reappeared. They didn't panic because you were dangerous. They panicked because your existence carries implications far larger than any individual. Certain bloodlines shift alliances. Certain lineages alter prophetic timelines. Some change power structures just by being present. And yours, according to their oldest records, has the ability to realign cycles, disrupt stagnation, and activate spiritual currents that have been dormant for centuries. Behind closed doors they asked the same question: how did this line return without any signs? Because your emergence wasn't predicted by their models. Because your energy signature didn't match any modern category. Because your awakening didn't come through tradition, ritual, or inheritance. It came through spontaneous activation, something only the rarest lineages experience. They began reviewing old prophecies. They reopened sealed documents. They reanalyzed forgotten symbols. Not to control you, but to understand the magnitude of what your return means. Your existence didn't break their system, it broke their certainty. And certainty is the foundation of every hidden order. Most people inherit only genetics, eye color, temperament, physical traits, fragments of biological history. But ancient lineages carry something infinitely deeper: memory. Not memories of events, but memories of essence, instinct, wisdom, patterns, and knowing that bypasses logic. Your bloodline is one of the few in existence that stores information the way a soul does, across lives, across eras, across dimensions of awareness. This is why you've always known things you were never taught, why you've sensed danger before it appeared, why you've recognized people you've never met, why you've felt connected to eras you've never lived in. These are not quirks of personality, they are ancestral echoes, fragments of identity resurfacing from a lineage that refuses to fade. Your intuition is not intuition. It is memory resurfacing from a place deeper than thought. Your sensitivity is not sensitivity. It is alignment with ancient frequencies returning to the surface. Your déjà vu is not coincidence. It is recognition, your spirit remembering timelines your mind has forgotten. The archive described your lineage as one that carries continuity. That means you were never meant to live as an isolated soul. You are a continuation of knowledge stretching across centuries, each generation passing the torch to the next, until it reached you, the one destined to awaken it fully. This is why your emotions feel heavier, why your purpose feels bigger, why your path feels guided. Your blood doesn't just belong to you, it belongs to every lifetime, every cycle, every ancestor that carried this mission before you. Your bloodline didn't activate because you searched for it. It activated because the world reached a threshold, a point where cycles are closing, new currents are forming, and humanity is entering a transitional era. Ancient lineages don't awaken during calm periods. They awaken during pivot points, when the collective energy shifts so dramatically that certain souls are called forward to stabilize, guide, or transform what comes next. This is why your awakening feels sudden, intense, disorienting, and inevitable all at once. It wasn't triggered by trauma or chance. It was triggered by timing. Your lineage is built to rise only when it's needed, and according to the archive, that moment is now. You were designed to appear in this generation, not earlier, not later. Had you been born in another era, your gifts would have been wasted. Had you awakened too early, the world wouldn't have understood you. Had you awakened too late, the window would have passed. Everything about your emergence matches the pattern of a returning force. The sudden intuitive expansion, a shifts in identity, a heightened resonance, rapid energetic upgrades, a feeling that something is starting. These aren't spiritual coincidences. They're activation symptoms. Your bloodline was dormant for centuries, waiting for conditions that match its purpose. That alignment has arrived. This age requires the very qualities embedded in your DNA: clarity, depth, adaptability, ancient memory, and a frequency strong enough to influence timelines. You are not awakening into a mission. You are awakening as the mission. When a restricted archive confirms a returning lineage, reality doesn't stay neutral. Systems begin to shift around you, almost as if the world is quietly rearranging itself to accommodate the weight of your reactivated ancestry. People you barely know may start treating you with unusual respect, hesitation, or curiosity without understanding why. They are responding to the energetic gravity your bloodline now projects. Opportunities will appear with uncanny timing. Meetings, invitations, breakthroughs, and decisions that seem orchestrated rather than accidental. These are not random blessings. They are structural adjustments. When a lineage like yours reawakens, the timeline begins to realign itself, removing obstacles and opening paths that match your mission frequency. You will also notice changes within yourself. A clearer intuition, a sharper awareness, the stronger emotional resilience, the sudden clarity about what no longer belongs in your life, an inner pull towards certain people, places, or paths. These sensations are not changes, they are remembrances. Your body, mind, and spirit are syncing with the ancestral identity that just resurfaced. Another effect appears in your relationship. Some individuals will drift away without conflict. Others will cling, sensing the shift. A few will reveal their true selves, unable to hide their intentions under the intensity of your new frequency. Bloodline activation exposes everything around you. Truth rises, masks fall, connections purify. Most importantly, synchronicities will accelerate. Numbers, symbols, dreams, encounters, all aligning faster than logic can explain. That is the universe's way of pulling you toward what your lineage has been waiting centuries to accomplish. You are not stepping into a new life. Your true life is stepping forward to meet you. When a dormant lineage rises inside you, the signs aren't subtle, they are undeniable. The first symptom is heightened intuition. You start sensing outcomes before they unfold, feeling people's intentions before they speak, and recognizing truths you were never taught. It's not imagination. It's blood memory resurfacing. Next comes the surge of energetic intensity. Some days you feel charged, almost electric, as if your system is processing more energy than your body was built to hold. Other days you feel drained, not from weakness, but from rapid internal upgrade. These fluctuations are the recalibration of an ancient pattern returning to the surface. Then there are the déjà vu bursts, moments where you feel like you've lived certain seconds before, not in this life, but in a lineage your soul remembers. Old places feel familiar. New places feel destined. You sense that your path isn't forming, it's revealing. People around you also start reacting differently. Some become magnetically drawn to you, trusting you without knowing why. Others become uncomfortable, intimidated, or silent in your presence. They are responding to the weight of your bloodline, even if they can't name it. Your dreams shift too. Symbols appear. Faces return. Scenarios repeat. What you once called dreams are now communications, echoes from ancestral memory speaking through the subconscious realm. Another sign, your inner vision expands. You see patterns faster, read energy clearer, and move with a confidence that wasn't taught but inherited. This is the awakening. Not a moment, a returning. Your lineage is not whispering anymore. It's speaking. You weren't pulled into a restricted archive by mistake. You weren't flagged because of random chance, a statistical error, or a coincidence buried in data. The archive responded to something deeper, older, and far more intentional, the return of a lineage the world believed would never awaken again. Your match didn't just open a file. It opened a prophecy. For centuries, your ancestral line moved in silence, woven through the shadows of history, waiting for the era that could hold its weight. The world was not ready before. Consciousness was too low, structures too rigid, timelines too unstable. But now, right now, humanity is shifting, systems are shaking, and hidden forces are resurfacing. This is the age your lineage was designed for. That's why you've always felt different. Why your soul carries depth beyond your years. Why your intuition moves faster than logic. Why you've walked through life with a sense of being prepared for something you couldn't name. Your bloodline wasn't absent, it was waiting. Waiting for you to reach the point where the spirit, mind, and body could handle the identity you carry. The archive match wasn't the beginning, it was the reveal. The unveiling of who you've always been beneath the layers of ordinary life. You are not the continuation of your family. You are the continuation of an ancient force. A lineage that returns only when the world enters a turning point. You didn't match a record, you matched destiny. You matched prophecy. You matched the truth of who you were always meant to become.